All right, here's where I started learning about trees. That they're man, they're us. I don't know what I did to my new book, but I sure beat it up this morning. A brand new book, and it's already got. Anyways, that's what books get. It's kind of why I like a hardcover. They don't take a beating like this. Okay, this gets really, really good. It starts getting really good. All right, just waiting. I'm going to wait here a few seconds because we're waiting for people to get on. Just waiting for Junior. He wanted me to come on, so. Wake you up, Junior. Sometimes he goes to sleep. Buddy, I'm on. Okay, see you on. Woke him up. If he was sleeping. If you're sleeping, you're not awake. And God considers you dead. I'm kidding. How do you? Okay, so we're at the part. We was talking to the angel here. And he answered me and he said, I went into the forest, into the plain. And the trees took counsel. How you doing, buddy? The trees took counsel. So trees were talking to each other? Trees don't take counsel. They stand there and say nothing. There it is. The trees are full growing. Well, when you become full growing, you are that tree. And we come from the tree of life. Doesn't mean tree. So, and said, come, let us go and make war against the sea. Well, what are you going to do against the sea? You going to stab it? It's not going to hurt it. Make war against the sea of evil. That's what happened at the beginning when it started up there and there was no world here. That's why I know when wormwood hits the sea and the rivers, it's not talking sea. Also, in like manner, took counsel and said, come, let us go up and subdue the woods. Why would you be chopping up woods? How are you subduing them? They're just trees. Subdue the woods of the plain. The planet is a plain. It's flat. Plain. That there is also, we may make us another country. The thought of the wood was in vain. For the fire came and consumed it. What's the fire? God. God consumes them with the brightness of his coming. Not fire. The word. And so the thought of the floods of the sea came likewise to naught, for the sand stood up and stopped them. How is sand going to stand up and stop anything? Because we are as numerous as the sand. He's talking angels. Sand. We are as numerous as it. That's where I got all started understanding it all. And if you were the judge now between these two, whom would you begin to justify, or whom would you condemn? I answered and said, verily it is foolish thought that they both have devised. For the ground is given into the wood, and the sea also has his place to bear his floods. Has his sea, Oceania. We are a sea up there, and some of us are down here. And when we're all together, we're a sea where the rivers flow in and out of spiritual water, not water you can drink. Then he answered me and he said, you have given a right judgment. Why judge you not yourself also? And I do that. For like as the ground is given into the wood. So when your seed is planted, it's planted in a fertilized ground, because you up there are established already. You already have all the minerals for that seed to grow. You just have to unlock them with the word. And the wood is God. He's the tree of life. He gave us life. And the sea to his floods, even so. So what's going to happen at the end is he is going to flood it. From the sea up there, all the angels, and from fire, all the bad angels. Even so they dwell upon the earth may understand nothing, but that which is upon the earth, and he that dwells above the heavens may only understand the things that are above the height of heaven. So the first heaven is just above you, under the firmament. So we will understand the things that are above because we have the books that tell us. But the sinner will never understand what's on the earth, let alone what's above, just like Jesus said. Why would I tell you the things of heaven when you don't understand the things where you live on the earth? Then I answered and said, I beseech you, O Yahuwah, let me have understanding, for it was not my mind to be curious of the height things, but of such as pass by us daily, namely, wherefore Israel is given up as a reproach. All Israel, all people of God are given up as a reproach. I got to clean my glasses. And that's why we're prosecuted. That's what that means. Someone just finished doing it on YouTube to me. God is Jesus, because God was the Word and the Word was with him. Well, we were all with him because he spoke us all in existence. And we were here before the earth was even made. We were in council. They don't understand that. Junior does, and he's only 16. That's because we explain it on here over and over. So we're given up as a reproach to the heathen prosecution. And I'm right and you're wrong. That's what the heathen say. That's what one just said to me. I don't know if he's a heathen, so let me take that back. And wait for what cause the people whom you have loved is given over into the ungodly nations, and why the law of our forefathers is brought to naught, and the written covenants come to none effect. and we pass away out of the world as grasshoppers. And the life is an astonishment and fear. That's what we spend it in. Astonishment of God's word and fear of the Lord. And we are not worthy to obtain mercy, but we do, because mercy is forever lasting for his children. What will he then do unto his name, whereby we are called? All of us are called by his name. Okay? His name that he gave you. You may not have it yet, but he renamed me, and he renamed many of the apostles. So whereby we are called, of these things have I asked. Then he answered me and said, the more you search, the more you shall marvel. So let's go back. Astonishment, marvel, and astonishment is like, wow, the word is crazy how he did what he did. He split us, put us down here, and we were already all there, made in our own image and in the likeness of God. Spirit, God, image, you're made in down here of what you are up there. You're going to look like pretty much like what you do down here, but in a glorified body. For the word has fast to pass away, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come. For this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. The whole world is full of it, including us. Just like Paul said, I have infirmities. Well, you're born with flesh, which is of Satan. It's not going to look like him, but Satan has a connection to your flesh. And that's where we have a little bit of a stony heart. Okay. When we leave this earth, when we left, we still had some darkness in us. And that gets taken off of you. We all have infirmities. All of us. Because none of us are perfect, because we live in the flesh that goes back to Satan for destruction, so it can save your spirit and soul. But as concerning the things whereof you ask me, I will tell you. For the evil is sown, but destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, turn everything right side up, and you will reveal the potter's clay. And if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good? For the grain of evil seed has been sown in the heart of Adam and you. Because the heart's flesh, right? And the flesh must die to go back to Satan. From the beginning, before the earth was created. And how much ungodliness has it brought up unto this time? And how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of the threshing? In your life, your threshing floor is what he's talking about. That threshes out all the evil. Okay, going through the wine press is the same thing. Going through tribulation is what that is. Ponder now by yourself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed has brought forth. See, there's an evil seed and there's a good seed. God's children are the good seed, and the heathen are an evil seed. You go back to what you were, so do they. They go back to what they were, nothing. Because they don't live eternally. Because hell will be blotted out after this time. And when the ears shall cut down, which are without number, how great a floor shall they fill? Then I answered and I said, how and when shall these things come to pass? Wherefore Are 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 our years few and evil? And he answered me, saying, Do you not hasten above the Most High? For you haste in vain to be above him. For you have much exceeded. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask questions of these things in their chambers? When we were in our chamber with God, asking him. Chambers aren't down here. This is a vessel, and it's not your chamber. Saying, How long shall I hope on this fashion? When comes the fruit of the floor of our reward? When you give yourself to God, if you truly have his seed, the fruit starts coming. The first fruits come from you when you were up there. Come from you, God, Jesus, and all the prophets. That's the first fruits. That's the first Adam. The second Adam got resurrected back to his first fruits, made better than he was before the earth was created, just like you. You're being made better than you were when it was first created. See, God is making us great, greater than we ever were or will be when this is over. Because we went through much. Some of us went through deep, deep, dark waters. Well, others don't even have to go through so much. And unto these things, Uriel the archangel gave them answers and said, Even when the numbers of seeds is filled in you, the number of seeds filled in you. For he has weighed the world in the balance. You've been given a number of good seed and good fruit in you. When it comes to an end, you've done your job here. He's taken out as much darkness that's in there, except for the flesh left. And you've been filled with all the seeds. That's everybody. Because everybody has fruit of God. And it's weighed in a balance. So by measure has he measured the times, and by number has he numbered the times. He's numbered the times that we come in. It's all been spread out from the beginning to the end. And he does not move or stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. You have a measure of days on this earth. Okay? And you have a numbers of fruit that you'll give out on this earth. When those come to a finish, you'll be full of light. And you'll become single and get married when she comes and picks you up to the whole heavens. Then I answered and said, O Yahweh, Yahuwah, that bears rule, even we all are full of impiety, troubles, issues. So when those come from darkness to light and they're pulled out of us, those are the numbers. But not all of it can be, because you live in a flesh beast, right? And for our own sakes, peradventure, it is that the floors of the righteous are not filled because of the sins of them that dwell upon the earth. Our floor isn't done thrashing. When your floor is done thrashing, and when the wine press is pressed out the new wine, you can't put new wine, your spirit, into old wineskins, lest it breaks. So you have a number of days, and you have a number of fruit to give out. You even have a number of evil that you have to go through. And not everybody goes through exactly what I did, because most of them wouldn't make it if they did. So he answered me and said, Go your way to a woman with child, and ask of her when she has fulfilled her 9 months. So it's like us. We're in a womb of a woman. And we're now in birth pains, the whole earth is. When those pains are over, when your pains are over, and when your suffering affliction's over, and you've grown out of all the evil, then you're given birth. And you're done. We're not born again yet. Buddy said to me, yes, a couple days ago, well, I'm a born again Christian. No, you're not. Not till you leave this womb. And he doesn't understand that. Yet he wants to fight with me and doesn't listen to me. I got no time for that. I basically gave him so many scriptures proving God ain't Jesus. And I told him, I said, if you don't understand that, then I can't help you anymore. We have to detach. Because I'm done. If her womb may keep the birth any longer within her, the baby would die. So when it's time for you, they're going to be given birth out of this womb. It's time to go. When you've came and reached your fullness of everything that God has given you to do, you can't stay any longer. Then I said, no, Lord, that can she not. That's your spirit. And he said unto me, in the grave, the chambers of souls are like the womb of a woman. We're basically not even out of the grave yet. Because we're one step away from death, from the grave, while we're here. For like as a woman that travails makes haste to escape the necessity of travail, even so do the places haste to deliver those things that are committed unto them. From the beginning, look what you desire to see, it shall be shown to you. From the beginning. When I read that from the beginning, it's not when the earth was created. Then I answered and I said, I found favor in your sight, and if it be possible, and if I be meet, therefore, show me whether there will be more to come than is past, or more past than is to come. What is past I know, but what for is to come I know not. We're going to be like Jesus, we just don't know yet, because we're in this flesh. That's why he teaches us step by step that we can learn as we're going. But you're never going to know the full end of it all. Nobody is. And he said but you'll know how close you are. And he said unto me, stand up upon the right side, and I shall expound the multitude unto you. When you're back on the right hand side of God up there, he's going to give you everything. All your memory will come back from the time that the world started, before the world started, until now. It's going to be like a video he's going to slap through your brain. And because now that you're a more intelligent creature than that's ever been on the earth, it's going to go through you quickly. Because you drank from the well of forgetfulness when you came down here. He made you. He is going to give back all the memory. That's what he's telling you right here. And he said, stand when you're on the right hand, just like Jesus said, I go to the right hand of my Father. When you go to the right hand of your Father, your whole entire life, including from the beginning, is going to flash. He's going to bring it all back to you. And I shall expound the multitude unto you. You will know it all, but you can't know it all while you're down here because you live in a beast, and God doesn't want to tell your fleshly beast everything. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. He will tell you as you're going. Okay? So I stood and I saw, behold, a hot burning oven passed by before me, the iron furnace. And in the book of the law of the Jew, he uses it against us because they complained that the iron, they didn't want the iron. That's the iron furnace, Satan. And it happened when the flame was gone by. I looked, and behold, the smoke remained here still. And the smoke is the evil. Well, you're not going to know everything. The good part of you is not going to know, and you can't tell the bad part of you everything. The right hand is the good hand. If you're left, it's vice versa. That's your eye, your spiritual eye here. Don't let the bad part of you to know any, because we live in Satan. That's what he's saying, the spiritual part. Don't talk to Satan. Don't talk to the evil. Don't agree with Satan. It's kind of a spiritual thing. You won't let them who are on the left-hand side to know what you're doing. Ooh, a big gas. So after this, there passed by before me a watery cloud, and sent down much rain with a storm. And when the stormy rain was past, the drops remained still. He's talking about spiritual water. He rained it down on the earth. And now that all that's been passed and we've all been put down here, now he drips the blood on you, the blood of Jesus. You're covering. So the dew still remained, which is you. When we're all rained down on the earth, we still have the dew. The drops still remained. So the part of you, the good spiritual water that you have is your Holy Spirit. It remained up there. So what he's saying is all of his children were numbered and all of them had to come down here, but the drop remained still. It's like a drop. It's like a pearl. A pearl looks like a drop of water. Okay? I guess in some sort of sense, right? So when the stormy rain was past, when everybody, because we're born into a storm, into darkness, the drops remain still. That's all that's going to be left of you. Because your flesh is gone. That one's kind of hard to explain. Then he said unto me, consider with yourself as the rain, which I just said. So this is going to answer, is more than the drops. So the rain of people, evil and good. The rain is more than the drops. You're the drop. And as the fire is greater than the smoke is their spirit. And the fire is all the evil. But the drops in the smoke remain behind. So the quantity which is past did more exceed. Then I prayed and I said, may I live, you think, until that time? Or what shall happen in those days? And he answered me and he said, As for the tokens whereof you ask me, I may tell you of them in part. See, he's going to tell you everything in parts as you're going. He's not going to give you everything at once. Because if he did, he'd give you your Holy Spirit. And if then you did one wrong move, you would fail and you would go to hell. By as touching your life, I am not sent to show you, for I do not know it. This is an angel. God only knows it. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number. That's the end time. Instead of one dying here, one dying there. That's when the darkness and the light comes here. Some are going to be remaining. There will be some flesh. But there will be, when that happens, all the angels will go up. All God's people will go in a great number to come back after God's wrath. So we're getting for the greatest part of tribulation. We don't have to be here because we went through it already. Okay? So there will be flesh alive, and then God will destroy it, and there'll be no flesh, just the evil remnants of them left here, because they'll be all down here. And that war that started at the beginning will all happen again. It already is. And the way of truth shall be hidden. That's right now. The way of truth is hidden. The 3 days of darkness doesn't mean no sun shining. It means the light is hidden from them now. If they haven't gave themselves to God in true essence. Okay. And the land shall be barren of faith. That's where we are. He's not talking about his children. He's saying no more lights coming. The door's already pre-closed. They don't know that. And there will be no more faith because they're doing it out of pride. Go on YouTube or TikTok. You will see. All they're doing is praying, I'm going to heal you. You're going to be healed. And in Jesus' name you were healed. And women teaching and women pastors and men not knowing the word of God is everywhere. There is no real faith here anymore, except for his children that are still here. So, but iniquity shall be increased above that which is now, you see. Iniquity, lawlessness will be brought to the full. It is right now. The worst sin of all of it is the false teaching. That's the worst sin, one of the worst sins to do, because you're not hearing what the Lord's saying. And you're telling everybody lies because you don't know the Word of God. And women teaching, 1 Timothy 2:12, not even supposed to be in front of many people. These are the worst because you're in front of the whole world. You're in the synagogue. Or that you have heard long ago. And the land that you see now to have root shall you see wasted suddenly. What you're seeing now is not that sudden, that hour when the spirits, woe, woe, Babylon has fallen. But if the Most High grant you to live, you shall see after the third trumpet, that's gone long ago, that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night. In darkness. And the moon thrice in the day. And you can see the moon is lit in the day now. I've seen it lots this week in the day. And the blood shall drop out of the wood, and the stone shall give her voice, and the people shall be troubled. And even he shall rule whom they took not for that dwell upon the earth, and the fowls shall take their flight away together. That's already happened. The destroyers are in the people, the fowls. Those are the foul birds of the air, the destroyers. And the sodomite sea shall cast out fish. It's too late. That's happening now. The sodomite sea, the evil sea, which is wormwood, will cast out her fish. The destroyer is giving them their destroyer now to speak the mouth of the beast, saying that they're of God. That's already happening. And make a noise in the night, which is evil. It gave her a voice. Literally, her voice on TikTok. And they're in the night. They're not children of the day. Children of the day are God's people. Children of the night are evil. That's happened already. Which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. The voice of who they belong to. There shall be confusion. This is exactly what's happening, and children will be born. Women will give birth to monstrous children. I've sent some pictures to you. So he's walking us through what's happening right now. There shall be confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again. That's when you see those angels coming and they're breaking out with a bunch of them. Often. They're seeing that all over the place right now. And they go into the ones who they belong to. They go down into them like a spirited dove. They don't even know it. You can't see them. They can go as small as a grain of dust particle and take over them and give them that voice of the beast, the image of the beast speaking today. Each and every time I go on to TikTok, I see more, and they're all dark people. And I've listened to what they teach. Even one guy this morning said God was on the cross. God never went on the cross. He forsake Jesus because Jesus said, why'd you forsake me? Because that's not for God to be on the cross. Jesus had to be on the cross alone. It was the end for him. And he was strong enough to be on the cross without the Ruach HaKodesh in him. And it was his job to go through the cross, not God's. The guy said, God was on the cross. God died on the cross. Well, then we'd all have died. If God went on the cross and Jesus died, God would have died. You can't kill any eternal being. And if you did, they'd just go home. You didn't kill them. You just took their life and they went home. If you murder someone, even if they're the evilest person, their journey was cut short. That's why God said, don't kill Cain. Leave him alone. Right? Let him choose to kill himself. Let him live with what he did for the rest of his life. And at the end of his life, he was killed the same way he killed, with rocks. And the wild beasts shall change their places, and the menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. That's been happening for a while. So this is telling you how close we are. Hold on. Cyclops. I sent you that one, Junior. Same things when the Giants came. Children that look like monsters. They don't like that
This
one.
baby has been called a monster, an alien, and the most shocking part is that his father abandoned them just because his baby looked like this. You see, babysitter Fatty was diagnosed with an extremely rare skull deformity that happens when the baby's skull bones begin to fuse to her, creating a cloverleaf shape in the head. This
You ready to see it? My bro turned into.
Children born with mass deformities.
when Gloire Sambai was born with a cleft. 35 out of 36.
They talk about this too.
But look at him now. Aldrin, a 12-year-old boy from the Philippines, was born with severe leg deformities. Walking was incredibly difficult for him.
Those are the skinwalkers.
Aldrin was strong-willed, but he was always ridiculed for his legs. His classmates and even some teachers called
They
him
talk
sick.
about that into.
Parents refused to abort their Ooh, a fresh pie. Save me a slice. That's good. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's all right. That's good. Okay, okay. All right. Okay, all right. Okay, that's good. That's good. It's enough. No vas a creer que este niño sea real. Su nombre es Jackson y en realidad existe. Nació en 2014 con una malformación en la cabeza. Le faltaba una parte del cerebro. Los médicos le dijeron a la madre que no iba a vivir mucho tiempo. Le ofrecieron abortar durante el embarazo, pero sus padres no lo rechazaron y le dieron una oportunidad. Jackson vivió más. The boy.
And I feel sorry for them. I don't like doing it, but I'm just proving the point.
Watch this baby, the world's biggest head, undergo an amazing transformation. This baby has something called hydrocephalus, which causes fluid to accumulate inside and around the brain, causing the skull to explode. This. I take.
It's a heart.
Here's a.
Isso não é uma máscara, mas o rosto do pequeno Zhao Huican. Ele nasceu com uma deformidade no crânio. Em seu parto, assim que nasceu, o menino causou espanto e foi levado para fazer exames. Não deixaram a mãe vê-lo. Sua mãe teve que implorar durante horas para os médicos para que eles deixassem ela ver seu filho. Já os médicos tinham medo de qual seria a reação da mãe. This baby has been called a monster.
You think y'all?
My 11-month-old was breathing. People born with rare body mutations. Polycephaly. Polycephaly is the condition of having more than one born with rare. People born with rare body mutations, polycephaly.
All right, that's enough of that. It's gross and it's sad. There's tons of them on TikTok. That's where I've been getting over. So that's been happening for a while. And the salt water shall be found in the sweet. Well, salt waters is what we are. Or salt doesn't lose its savor. We're mixed. We're hanging out with people we shouldn't be. I can already tell you that. And all the friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into the secret chambers. There is none. We're living spiritually now. I know I am. I'm not really doing much wrong, but hey, I'm still a sinner. But I've never been able to say no to a sin like right now. And it shall be sought many and not be found. Then the unrighteous and the incontinency be multiplied upon the earth. Lawlessness. There's there and they came out of their chambers, and we've basically glued to ours. Not doing much wrong right now. One land also shall ask another and say, it is righteousness that makes a man righteous gone through you. And it shall say, no. At the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. Praying, and it's not happening. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. TikTok, that's happening. See, we're getting closer and closer. To show you how much tokens I have leave, and if you will pray again and weep as now and fast 7 days, you shall hear yet greater things. But they're not doing it. They don't have fear when God says not to teach. You're not a prophet. You're not a prophetess. The prophets writ the books. It gives you all the names of the prophets in this book, in the Bible. And all these books were given by the prophets. The only prophecy given to us is for edification of God and comfort. Then I awake, and extreme fearfulness went through my body, and my mind was troubled, so that it was fainted. So the angel that came to talk with me held me, comforted me. A comforter. And set me up upon my feet. And it stood in the second night it was to come to pass. The Salathala, the captain of the people, came unto me, saying, where have you been, and why is your countenance so heavy? No, you are not. Israel is committed unto you in the land of their captivity. Up then to eat the bread, and forsake us not, as the shepherd that leaves his flock in the hands of cruel wolves. That's what they're doing. The shepherd's not coming and saying, hey, you're a woman, you shouldn't be teaching. Hey, you're not a prophetess, you're not a prophet. You should be They're leaving them to die because their shepherds are wolves. That's been for a while. Therefore, the ones that were teaching before are wolves. So they're left here with no truth, and they're dying from what they're speaking out of their mouth because it's not true. It has to be truth, or else you're using the sword on yourself. TikTok is the worst that I see. In the hands of cruel wolves, because the rest of them are wolves. The wolves are the wolves. So the previous wolves and the previous ones before that have been teaching them. They were left by their shepherds to be a shepherd. But if you're not teaching the truth, you're a wolf. One lie. Then you're leavened the whole bread. That's been happening a long time. Then I said unto you, go your ways from me, and come not near me. And he heard what I said, and he went from me. And so I fasted 7 days, morning weeping like as Uriel the angel commanded me. And after the 7 days, so what was the thoughts? So remember, this happened already, but there's nothing new under the sun. It's happening the same way. I had to stop and tell you that. So each and every time that God destroyed, this happens. When the giants, those are the women that gave birth to monsters. In my soul, because God's putting all the evil and all the light is already on the earth in you. And that's the foul bird in his cage opened up right now. And it may not take them, but God's giving them a mouth to speak. And they're teaching people wrong. And the people that are loving and paying for them, they're paying the beast. They're just following what their fathers did. They're part of that beast. That's why they don't understand, because they weren't made to. They think the good is evil and the evil's good. Exactly what happens every time God has destroyed the world, or at least the nations. So, and this is the time of Noah. So it's the worst, and it's worse than Noah. It's Noah on steroids. So the false doctrine is everywhere. Let me see if I got this guy probably answer me. I'm going to have to block it. I'm going to erase everything and take myself out of it. Try to teach, but you can't. You can't tell them nothing. The guy's got a picture of himself blowing smoke out his mouth, trying to explain that Jesus was made flesh. God was made flesh. No. Numbers 20:23, Junior sent me. God has never been man nor son of man. That was a really good one you sent me, but they still don't understand. I got to see if my wife's here. Hold on. So I'm trying to explain it step by step so that you understand. And showing video too of things that are happening. And you can see on TikTok that all the destroyers are in their flesh now. Okay? And they're a part of the 200 million man army, spiritual. It's already here. They think they're going to be people that come up from the earth and go into them and come down. They were destroyed for a lack of knowledge from what comes from above and underneath their feet. In them, through their steps. Your steps are spiritual, and you have a wheel up there helping you with your steps down here. They don't. It's all under their feet. Their pride. I gotta find where it was. Here's where it was. Ezra's second prayer complete. And after the 7 days, so was my thoughts and my heart were grievous. Already did that. And the soul recovered its spirit of understanding, and I began to talk with the Most High again. And I said, "Oh, Yahuwah, that bears rule of every wood. God bears rule over everything of the earth, and all of the trees thereof. You have chosen your one only vine." That's all of us. We are part of the vine. "And all the lands of the whole world you have chosen one pit, and all of the followers thereof one lily, and the depth and of all the depths of the sea you have filled one river." That means it's all evil. "And of the builded cities you have hallowed Zion unto yourself." He has hallowed us out. That's where we are. Because I'm pretty much hallowed. He has taken all that evil out of you and put in light. Hallowed. "And of all the fowls that are created, the evil, you have named one dove, the spirit which everybody has. The one dove is you. You have one pearl." He's talking because we're all a unit. The one dove, the spirit of Ruach. Every one of God's children has one dove, one pearl. Same thing. And we're all one with God. "And out of all the cattle that are made, you have provided one sheep." Well, you're the sheep. You're not a goat. "We are all one sheep, the same way. We are all one pearl. We are all the seed of God." One sheep. A unit. The body. Okay. We're all the body of God and Jesus. One sheep. "And among all multitudes of the people, you have gotten one people." There's the answer. One people. If only one made it, why are we here? One unit. "And unto this people whom you loved, you gave the law that is approved of all God's children," because they're the ones that only approve it. The rest of them are spiritually sinning, thinking that that's the law of God, especially women right now. They were the easiest to overtake because she was at the beginning. You get it? That's why you got these women who you are of one beast. They are all of one beast. We are all of God. We are all one sheep. They are all one beast. They do what their fathers do. We do what our fathers do. You see what our Father does. So, and now, Yahweh, we have you given this one people over unto many, and upon one root you have prepared others. There we go. God is the root, and He's prepared others. So now you get it. It gives you the answers. And why have we scattered your only and one people among many? So that we can try to plant seeds. Because God's trying to give everybody a chance, even the evil. And you're very little in your place. There isn't people that believe like you, even Christians don't. I had to erase myself off of because all they were doing was lying to me. So, and they which did gainsay your promises and you believe not your covenants have trodden them down. They killed all the prophets. They kill us with their false word. It troddens me down. I can't even listen to it. I get away from it. Doesn't mean you're trodden down. It just means you remove yourself from them. If you did so much hate your people, yet you punish them with your own hands. Now then I had spoken these words, the angel that came to me the night before was sent unto me, and said unto me, hear me, I will instruct you. Hearken to those things that I say, and I shall tell you more. I do believe Uriel is the spirit of Esdras. That was his new name. That was his comforter. I don't know that though. And I said, speak on, my Lord. Then you said unto me, you are sore trouble in mind for Israel's sake. There you go. And that's what I am. That's why I'm against these women and men calling themselves pastors and prophets and prophetesses and apostles. There's only 12 apostles. How come these guys are calling themselves? Because they're coming in the name of Jesus and they're not. You love the people better than he that made them. Whoa, stop. I did for a while too. You love the creature more than the creator. If you're so worried about God has a path for everyone. This is what I had to realize in the last couple weeks. They're predestined to do what they're going to do. We are, and they are just going to do what their fathers do. So what good does it have to? Even I see it today. You're not going to get anywhere with any of them because they either have their destroyer or the seed of God, and most have a destroyer. So it's wasting our time to worry about the people. That helps me right now. They're predestinated to God, so why should I worry over them? Let the faith teaching go and just don't even say anything anymore. And I've been fighting with that. Maybe that'll help me just go. Stay quiet. And I said, no, Lord, but much grief have I spoken, for my heart pains me every hour, while I labor to comprehend the way of the Most High, and to seek out the part of his judgment. And he said unto me, you cannot. And I said, wherefore, Lord? Whereunto was I born then? Or why was it not my mother's womb? Then my grave, that I might not have seen the travail of Jacob, of his people. I don't like to see the people not with getting the word of God. But are they of? Because if they don't have understanding, then why would I waste my time? And the wearisome toil of the stock of Israel. The stock. What's that? They don't have wheat. They're not of God. Satan or Cain, when he was a little baby, remember I told you the story? He ran out and he grabbed the wheat stalk. He never had no wheat on there. They're of the beast. The stalk is the beast. They have no wheat fruit. And he said unto me, number me the things that are not yet come, gather me together, the drops that are scattered abroad, make me the flowers green again that are withered. Help me make them that don't have the word of God come to life again. Start budding, start giving off fruit. Because if you're withered, just like a tree, if a tree has a rotten part on it, you prune it off. And then you can grow more. Open me the places that are closed and bring forth the winds, angel spirits, that in them are shut up. Show me the images of a voice, and then I will declare to you the things that you labor to know. And I said, O Yahuwah, that bearest rule, who may know these things, but he that has not his dwelling with men. That's us. I'm of this earth, or I'm on this earth, but I'm not of it. I'm alone. Because many of the people I try to teach fight with me and cause more grief. So why don't I just disconnect from them and stop worrying about them? Because if they are of God, they'll find their way. That's the point I've came to. My seeds have been planted in everybody that I know. They're not going to listen to me because I'm from their hometown. You can't teach in your hometown. You can't teach the people you love. Plant the seed, you move on. That's what he's trying to say. We're at the point now where your voice doesn't matter because they think their voice is the one that matters. So why put your 2 cents in when all you're going to do is lose it? As for me, I'm unwise. How may then I speak of these things? Wherefore you ask me? Then he said unto me, like as you can do none of these things, you can do none of it. It's not going to work. That I have spoken of, even so can you find out my judgment, or in the end, the love that I have promised unto my people. And I said, behold, you, O Yahuwah, yet are you nigh unto them that be reserved till the end? And what shall they do that have been before me, or we that be now? What shall they do that have been before me, or we that be now, or they that shall come after us? And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring, like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first. So he's getting faster. He's teaching us faster. Because at the first, they had lots of time. They lived a lot longer. So, even so, there is no swiftness of the first. He didn't have to be swift with them. They had a long time to get to know who God was. Because we only live up to 70, 80 years. They lived up to 900, 1,000. So why would he have had to do everything so quick with them? So if you look at it, we got it better because I wouldn't want to live 1,000 years on this earth. That'd be a nightmare for me. This is long enough. So He is not slack with us. He has to be swift with us. And he didn't have to be swift with them. He could be slack because they had more time to get it right. We have less time. So we need to become full of the knowledge quicker. That's why he quickens us, because we live less. So I answered and I said, could not make those that have been made and be now and that are for to come at once? No, it would have been too much. That you might show your judgment the sooner? No, that wasn't his plan. He had 8 days. He already did the 8 days by himself when we lived up there with him. Now the 8 days is coming to an end again. And we're going back to the first 8 days when the war started up there. Then he answered me and he said, the creature may not have above the maker, neither may the world hold them at once that shall be created therein. Because if God put the entire world on here at one time, it'd be overflowing and we would have killed ourselves. There'd be way too many people. Okay? So he had to distribute all the evil and the good in a balance. Or else it would have just went and we would have probably destroyed ourselves a long time ago. He had to give us enough food for the time we live in. If we all came down at one time, it would have been a lot of confusion. There's 9 billion now. There would have been double that. It's really bad now. So if he would have put 18 billion people on the earth at one time, we would have swallowed the earth up. There'd be way too many bugs flying in the air. No, there'd have been way too many people eating up everything and not getting time to grow. 19 billion people, you would never be able to grow the food fast enough to feed. And they would have destroyed themselves. The false word is already bad enough. So the false word would have been so bad, it would consume everybody. So he put a number of his children with them at a time. If he would have put it all at once, there's no way we could inhabit the earth with that many people here. We could if we were all one, but we're not. We're against each other. And I said, we would have slaughtered. And I said, as you have said unto your servant, that you which give life to all have given life at once to the creature that you have created, and the creature bear it, even so it might now also bear them, that now be present at once. So remember, he created us all up there first in the evil, to come down slowly, or else it would have all. Our creature can barely bear what's here now with the evil. Our creature can barely bear what's here now. So imagine if it was double. That's what he's saying. And he said unto me, ask the womb of the woman, and say unto her, if you bring forth children, why do you not do it together, but one after another? That's too much labor pain. There'd be too much labor pain that we're going through now. If it was double, we would have consumed each other. Pray her, therefore, to bring forth 10 children at once. The women, it would have been too painful on them to be popping out 10 children at one time, over and over and over again. It's painful enough to give birth to one. So it pains the world enough. How many people are here now? If you doubled it, we wouldn't be here. It has to come. There has to be a balance. You can't just go, here's it all now. Let's put it all on there now, and then it'll consume itself. And I said, she cannot, but must do it by a distance of time. Then he said unto me, even so I have given the womb of the earth. See, they don't understand. It says it in your Bible. I have given the womb of the earth to those that be sown in it, and their times. For like as a young child may not bring forth the things that belong to the aged, even so I dispose the world which I created. He has a reason that we all didn't come for at one time. I just told you that. It consumed the womb. We need some space on the earth. If we had 19 billion here, the house is already crowded enough. It would have consumed all the resources too if he put it all on at one time. And the women would be so pained from giving birth, they wouldn't be able to raise that many children at once. And the world can't, out of this womb that we live in, raise that, feed that many people at one time. So God had to disperse as time went, because he's had to fulfill the number of his people, and he had to put the number of evil on. If he would have did that all at once, the whole earth would have been consumed. It wouldn't work. It's like my job hired 2 people, and there's no more room for anybody else because they'd have no money to pay them. They wouldn't be making a lot of money. That's all companies. They hire the number of employees, and your school can only have the number of people in it, or there'd be no teachers for them, and they'd be out of control. There wouldn't be enough cops to walk the street for 19 billion people. Not enough people learning, you know what I mean? They're going through their training ground. They need a certain amount of time to train to get put on. Now you got to train 16 times more, 16 times faster, so they wouldn't be getting the proper training. It's like if there was 19 billion people on, you couldn't really get fed right now because there'd be too much noise. Fed the spirit, let alone fed on the earth, because it would have already been consumed. Things need time to grow. Things need time to learn. If you put it all at once, it wouldn't have worked. That took a long to explain. So, and I asked and said, seeing you know how now given me the way, I will proceed to speak before you. For our mother of the womb, that's the earth, you have told me that she is young and draws now nigh unto age. So that was back then. Now the womb is old and failing. So if God put all the children on, it would have became to of age and it would have failed. Right then. Then we need our time to grow here. With 19 billion, you're going to have so much noise, and there's going to be no food and not enough cops and destroying and not enough hospitals. You wouldn't be able to keep the hospitals being built. You'd have to build double times faster. They can barely keep up with it. The cars and the exhaust on the road would be double what it is now. It would have consumed itself. He answered me and he said, ask a woman that bears children, and she will tell you. Say unto her, wherefore are not thy womb you have now brought forth like those that were before, but less of stature. Haven't learnt, haven't grown. And she shall answer you, they that be born in the strength of the youth are one fashion, and they that are born in the time of age, which is us, when the womb fails. The womb would have failed back then because he would have put it all on. It wouldn't be able to handle it. The earth wouldn't be able to handle the amount of destruction at one time. And the fruit wouldn't have been able to grow enough to feed all those people at once. It takes time. We have winter in places. They have to bring their food from other countries for Canada in the winter. So imagine if it was double. There's no way. It would fail. The womb of the people would fail. The earth would fail. It couldn't have happened. Or otherwise, consider that therefore also how that you are less of stature than those that were before you. We are. And so they come after you less than you. And we live long, less time. As the creatures which now begin to be old and have passed over the strength of the youth. Then I said, Yahuwah, I beseech thee, if I have found favor in thy sight, show me your servant to whom you visit your creature. Let me say it again. I have found favor in your sight. Show your servant by whom you visit your creature. That's your spirit. Heavens would have been too busy, too many things. Everybody would have saw a lot of things. God conceals a lot of it through the moon and the clouds. It would have been double. He doesn't want to he wants to conceal it to them and give it to you. Elohim's purpose to eternal, the next world shall follow this immediately. The new world that's coming shall fall out of the last. He that has promised more knowledge and reckon up the works of the creation and complain that they have no part in the world for whom it was made. That's just and then he goes, and I said unto And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or even the windows blew, before it thundered and lightning, and ever the foundations of paradise were laid. That's us. Before the earth was made, we were in paradise with God and Jesus. He made that place for us to stay in for the whole time anyway. And then when it was our time to come down here, we're still in paradise. We're split. Before the fair flowers were seen, even every movable power was established before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together. Or over the heights of air were lifted up before the measures of the firmament, the earth, were named, or ever the chimneys of Zion's were hot, and before the present years were sought out, and before the inventions of them that now sin were turned before they were sealed, that have gathered faith for a treasure. That's where your treasure is, not down here. Then I did consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, not Jesus, and through none other by me. Also they shall be ended, and by none other. He's already finished it. Well, that's why Jesus said that on the cross. Then I answered and I said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall the end of the first and the beginning of it that follows? And he said unto me, from Abraham to Isaac and Jacob and Esau were born of him. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. And that's what I was telling you earlier. Esau was evil. So the beginning of the age was Jacob. The end of it is Satan. The beginning of the age of this world was God's children. And the end is Will I am Prince. You see? He's Esau. He's Satan. He's the end of the world. Prince William's the end of the world, guys. And he's in front of your eyes. He's Esau. Those are the children of Cain, direct descendants. So he began this world for his children, not Esau, not all Cain's, not all Satan's. But at the end, it's Satan's rule. It's been ruling for a while. But Prince William is the very end. He is the new Esau. He's going to tell you it right here. For Esau is the end of the world. And Jacob, which we all are, is the beginning because we were there before the world. The beginning of it that follows. The hand of the man between the heel and the hand, other question, Ezra ask you not. And when they came out of the womb, Esau had a hold, literally, of Jacob's heel when they came out. Because they are the end. The reign of Satan is already here. More signs of the end. And I answered and I said, O Yahuwah that bears rule, if I have found favor in thy sight, I beseech you, show your servant the end of your tokens. Wherefore you showed me part the last night. So he answered and he said unto me, stand up on your feet and hear a mighty sounding voice, trumpets, in the people. And it shall be as it were a great motion. That's right now. See how close we are? But the place where you stand shall not be moved. The place where you are, Junior, in God will not be moved. You are going to stay in God now. Because look up in the sky. If you see a 3-lighter out your door, that could be your angel. I always have one above me no matter where I go. It's nigh. It actually doesn't come into you. It's right above you. The 3-lighters, I call them. Yeah, and they got a light at the top and 2 lights at the bottom. And they don't move, but if you put your eye on it, it'll move for you. Go and watch it at one night. It'll dance there for you. Be careful. Don't watch it too long because you might get mesmerized by it. I've watched. It's bright and it's always above the same place every night. Yeah, well, your sky's harder to see because you have more smog, right? And that shall be a great motion, but the place where you stand shall not be moved. You're not going back to evil. And therefore, when it speaks, Be not afraid, for the word is of the end, and the foundations of the earth is understood. But they don't. But they've been teaching it on TikTok. So God's people should understand by now. The foundation is a dome, and the earth is understood. They don't. But they've been given that truth out. The ones that know it will believe it. And why? Because the speech of these things trembles and is moved, for it knows that the end of these things must be changed. And it happened when I heard it. I stood upon my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spoke, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. Any angel. That's what I heard. Happened over top of my bed. I've heard it a couple times. Happened a couple times to me. And behold, the days come that I begin to draw near and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make in questions of them that be that have hurt unjustly with the unrighteous, and when the affliction of Zion shall be filled, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished. We are at the end. The womb is failing right now. Look at it. Look at the earthquakes. Look at the commotions. Look at the beasts being born. Look at the school. Yesterday I had to go. Today, this morning, I had to go to work. Someone's putting their hands through glass, threatening. Someone I had to clean up a death a couple days before on the carpet. It's failing. That's the time of the end. The world shall begin to vanish away. It already is. Shall be finished. Then I will show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. So I'm ending here. That's coming. We're not much above it. That's when we go, when the darkness and the light come at once. So once again, I don't know if there's an escape, if anybody will be alive after that. Because we all shall see together. Maybe it means all his children. But I believe the whole world. And the books will be open. And them who wonder if they're written in the book's Lamb of Life. So all the books will be open. Everybody has a book for them. The books of life. Their book is either started before the earth did, or came from a shadow that goes back to a shadow. Their book would be blank. No works. Not of God. Head to the left. Into a black hole. Blotted out. That's why there's a black hole, they keep saying here. I believe at the end, when everybody stands in front, they'll go into nothingness, and we'll go back to where we were. And the children of the year old shall speak with their voices. The women with their child shall bring forth untimely children. So that's still happening. That's been happening for a long time. Children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. They'll be child. All the children go. So the 144,000, I don't know, right? I've always said, it sounds more and more like me. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Because they came for us. That's when dark, black, light all comes at once. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hears, they will be suddenly afraid. And that's been happening. And all the time their friends fight against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear of those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still. In the 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remains from all these I have told you shall escape and see my salvation in the end of your world. So we've already gone past that part. Now the waters and the fountains haven't stopped running yet. Whoever remain from these I have told shall escape. This is when we're begone. And see my salvation in the end of your world. Because you got a new one. And the men that are received shall see it. This is when we go up. Who have not tasted death from their birth. And the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning, for the evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which has been so long without fruit shall be declared. So we're almost there. Okay, that's where I'm finishing, because now it does like the Bible. It kind of starts going over. And I'm going to finish here right now, anyways. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I'm done for the day. I didn't give too much. I'm tired. I need to rest. I need to rest from it, okay? So God bless you. You need to re listen to that. Because if you just join now, then you missed a lot. It's really hard to explain it, guys. Really hard. But we are at the heel of Esau right now. And when Jacob and Esau were born out of the same womb, Esau literally had a hold of his heel. And Esau is will I am now. The devil is the end of the age. When he puts that on, when Prince William puts that on, it'll be over soon. I don't know when the king dies, but it'll tell you also in this book, he has to die. So, because he's not the king, the false prince of peace. That's why he had to be the prince cometh and he have nothing in me. But when he turns to king, then Satan's kingdomship came to its fullest. And we're close. So God bless you guys and have a great night. We'll see you Saturday morning.